Gotta love the 60s. Why couldn't I have been born in the 60s? That sounds like so much fun. Up way late researching Joni Mitchell's for free. Well, not for free, but at the cost of my mental health.
Show me your nuts.
Oh, how you doing?
But For Free has an absolutely fascinating backstory. The story goes way beyond the lyrics of the song, and we're gonna get into it. This is part of my original versus cover series where I compare music that's been covered a lot, and, well, For Free's been covered a lot. Specifically, I like to compare it to Lana Del Rey's version. I researched why she covered it and why Joni wrote it.
I've listened to every cover version of For Free now. I've ranked them, and if you stick around to the end of the video, I will share with you my top 5 rankings as well. There's one person who covered For Free the most. They felt real free to cover For Free, more than Joni Mitchell, and they happen to have my favorite cover version. And let's just get started.
Lana first performed it live during her Norman Rockwell tour.
I wanted to do somebody else's song. It's not mine, but it's called For Free. I was standing on a corner, just waiting for the walking green.
Then recorded it with Weyes Blood and Zella Day. It starts with a muted piano. Where the original has a very bright sounding piano. As I was listening to the cover, I was thinking it wasn't going to be very different until the harmonies came in.
Waiting for the walking green.
And I like a lot of Lana and producer Jack Antonoff's production choices. It's kind of like if Joni recorded this later in her career, maybe during like her Hejira days. By the way, I just thought about it. Hejira almost sounds like a sneeze. Hejira. I was surprised at how country it sounded. But in a clip we're going to listen to later, Joni actually says that she intended it to sound country. Joni's version never seemed very country to me. What do you guys think? Did you ever think of that? Comment below. However, listen to this live version. It really emphasizes the harmonies.
One man there by the big lunch stand, he'll be playing real good for free.
It kind of reminds me of another supergroup, Trio, with Dolly Parton, Linda Ronstadt, and Emmylou Harris.
It was a halo sent down from heaven like the sweetest gift of mother's smile.
But I think my favorite part of the Lana version is when Weyes Blood starts singing. She has such a soulful voice.
Nobody stopped to hear him, though he played so sweet and high. They knew he had never been on their TV, so they passed his music by.
If you haven't checked out her music before, I highly recommend it. Joni actually did record this later in her career for her Miles of Isles album, and it's very similar to the way that Weyes Blood sang it. Take a listen.
And I play if you have the honey.
Actually, a lot of versions have taken the country route, and Buffy St. Marie is one.
Maybe put on a harmony.
Despite being one of Joni's more clearly told stories, For Free has been misconstrued a lot over the years. And one of the people who misconstrued it is Lana Del Rey. Let me read this to you. Lana told Mojo magazine that this song means everything to her. She says the way that things started off for me and the way I was portrayed was that I was feigning emotional sensitivity. I really didn't like that because I didn't get famous until I was older, till I was like 27. And until then, I sang for less than free. And I loved it. I really was that girl who was pure of soul. I didn't give a fuck, unquote. And Lana attempted to align herself with Joni, who also didn't break through until later in her life. But Lana wasn't aware that Joni actually wrote the song for a musician named Blind Richie. I didn't call him that. That was his name. Don't cancel me. It was originally from Joni's 1970 album, Ladies of the Canyon. She actually introduced it at the Newport Festival in 1969, a festival she'd returned to.
This is a song about a New York sidewalk musician who plays the clarinet on the corner of 6th and 8th, real good for free. That's what it's called, real good for free. And it's in kind of a country and western thing. Country and western happy trails to you swing along thing.
This show was attended by a journalist named Ray Schulz. He was accompanied by a lady that he was dating. Ray turns to the lady who accompanied him and says, "Hey, I know who Joni's talking about," and proceeded to tell the story that he would write in the East Village Other. It's the summer of 1968. He meets a blind kid on the corner of 8th Street and 6th Avenue. He's holding a sign that says, "I'm blind, please help me recover my stolen clarinet." Yes, that clarinet he was playing real good for free, it was stolen. Damn, people really are the worst. So he's talking to this kid. Let me read you a little of their conversation. "You eaten yet?" Ray asked. "Yes." "How did you lose your clarinet?" I asked. "Man, I don't know. I'm a writer," I said. "I have a paper. Maybe we could do a story on you. Help you get a new clarinet? Want to have a cup of coffee and talk about it?" "I don't think so. If I take 5 minutes off from here, I'll lose money." So yeah, this kid's giving him nooge. So he gives him $1 and goes off on his merry way. But he sees this kid every day panhandling, and this kid continues to give him nooge. But for some reason, this guy is fascinated. A legend in the neighborhood, I guess, because everybody knows his story. Although he hears conflicting stories. His blindness came from birth, or his blindness was from the war. He plays amazing clarinet, or he doesn't play at all. He makes a lot of money panhandling, or his friends steal from him, so he never has a place to stay. See, conflicting. But Ray finishes telling this girl this story. They leave the festival and go to a party where Big Mama Thornton apparently is making red beans and rice. Gotta love the 60s. Why couldn't I have been born in the 60s? That sounds like so much fun. But who is Ray standing behind at this party? Yes, Joni Mitchell. He overhears her conversation with a man named Israel Young. Let me read you some of their conversation. "Who is this kid?" Young asked. "Oh, it's so weird," Joni Mitchell said. "I think he's lost his clarinet. He doesn't play clarinet anymore. We ought to do something for him." "I agree," she said. "Maybe we can get him a new clarinet." "Yes, that would be great," Joni said. "Maybe we can get him on television or something." "Yes, there must be something we can do." "Yes," she said, "but he's hard to approach. He's very guarded. Sometimes it just breaks me up to think about it." So Ray leaves this party thinking this kid has it made. He's going to be off to do great things. But a year later, he discovers him in New York, in the same place and in the same condition. But now he's heard this Joni Mitchell song and now he feels exploited. Richie's comments were highlighted in the article. Let me read you. He said it was a phony, that she didn't bother to get to know him, that she should have f***ed him if she wanted to write an honest song. Besides, Joni Mitchell's retired now, ain't she? Living with Graham Nash or someone? Unquote. So yeah, he's not an entirely sympathetic character, but then he's a real human. There's a long story that I'll leave the whole article linked down below, but he basically has a freak out where he's violent and starts calling Black people and Latino people the N-word and, well, a bunch of other racial slurs. But I'm sure, I don't know, he's probably had a really hard life and more than likely has a lot of mental health problems. But I thought it was fascinating that I've loved this song since I was a little kid. And that man in the song playing clarinet always felt like a magical clarinet man. Such is life that the truth is a lot more complicated. This is also rumored to be about an English saxophonist named Lal Coxell, whom Joni heard playing the blues number St. James Infirmary outside the Swiss Center in London. Thinking that Joni wasn't sincere in her admiration, he told New Music Express in 1973, "If she dug me so much, why didn't she use me on the session? Paul Horn did it and he sounded horrible. She must have thought I was really broken down and quavery." Wow. Okay. Although it's also kind of true of the song as well, because even in the song, you know, the signal changes and she crosses the street instead of putting on a harmony. There's that feeling that you know that she never saw him again. I mean, in the song, she's talking about being famous, which is usually the kiss of death when an artist has to resort to that topic. But Joni uses it as a parable, and in typical Scorpio fashion, she doesn't let herself get away with anything, and without some sharp, bittersweet commentary about her own behavior. This is why I think Mojo magazine misconstrued Lana Del Rey's meaning when they said she misinterpreted the song. I mean, whether she relates to the street musician in the song or the famous musician, both musicians are wondering if what they do matters. Despite the fact that the song's never been a hit, why has it been covered so many times? At its core, it's about the obligations of musicians regarding the gift that he or she's been given. Are they using the gift with pure intent? But it's why musicians relate to it so strongly. And another musician that related to this song is the answer to that trivia question we started off with. Who's covered for free the most? Answer is David Crosby. Did you get it right? Every band he's been in has covered it. The Byrds, Crosby, Stills and Nash, even the band he was in with his son. And you know, David Crosby produced Joni's first album. Crosby respected Joni, but I don't think he truly understood her. But this song is where they met, soul to soul, as artists.
There's a song I do of Joni's that I like a lot. It's a simple country waltz. It's not like most of her stuff, which is so complex I can't play it. Good, but complex. But this one, I've been doing it for a long time because I like what it says. I slept last night in a good hotel. I went shopping today for two.
To be honest, I never really connected with any of his versions until the very last one. As much as I like the Lana version, this is my favorite cover. The late, great David Crosby recorded a cover version recently with the criminally underrated Sarah Jarosz. It meets the original in its sincerity.
Slept last night in a good hotel.
And I think he understood that because he ended up naming his last album For Free. The way him and Sarah Jarosz's voice blend so perfectly.
I was standing on a noisy corner.
Something about the interesting timing and the kind of cut-off vocals give the feeling of being present and in the moment.
Or if you're a friend to me.
I both their vocal phrasing on this part.
But that one-man band by the quick lunch stand.
It's the only version I really think matches the sincerity of the original.
Just playing real good for free.
I think it's wonderful that this was kind of his swan song. Because of the lyrics of the song, I think it's just beautiful that this was a duet with him championing a younger artist.
Yeah, I feel so grateful having gotten the chance to sing with him. He came to my show in Santa Barbara, I want to say in 2016 or 2017 at the Libero Theater, and walked backstage, and I didn't even know he was there, and he was just so complimentary and such a huge supporter of my music, and he would come to my show every time I played there, and so eventually we became friends, and you know, he would call me and we would talk about music, and eventually that led to him asking me to sing on his last record, a Joni Mitchell song, For Free. And I'm just so grateful for being able to sing with him. And I actually, you know, it's really heavy, but about a week before he passed away, I sang harmony and played octave mandolin on a new record that he was in the midst of working on. So he really went out of his way to champion artists that he believed in and that he loved, and you know, he was creating right up until the very end.
And here are my top 5 for free covers. But what's your favorite cover? Did I miss anything? Anyway, if you'd like to see another video, there'll be one right here. Or you can check out my music mystery playlist right here. Or you can subscribe to me right here if you feel so inclined. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I hope I get to see you next time. Popcorn Philosopher over and out.